Thanks, Clive. Hello there, good evening. Welcome to Look North on the programme tonight. A murder investigation begins in Batley after a woman in her 20s is killed at the weekend. The discovery was made after reports of an armed robbery at a nearby superstore. Also tonight, dozens of endangered crayfish are rescued from a beck as water levels run low in the dry weather.
I love the fact that we've got this little oasis of indigenous crayfish here, and the fact that they were saved and hopefully can be used to potentially introduce them into other areas where they would have been found before but have now been wiped out.
And how could we forget the home crowd celebrates as local players Beth Mead and Esme Morgan help the Lionesses lift the Euro trophy. High drama and even higher pulse rates over the Ironman. We catch up with Leeds competitor Hannah Corn to find out how she got on.
Well, it's been a pleasant enough day. We've all seen some sunshine, but what about the rest of the week? Well, join me for that week ahead forecast.
Hello, thanks for your company this Monday evening. Detectives in West Yorkshire have launched a murder investigation after a woman in her 20s was found dead in Batley. The discovery followed a foiled robbery at a supermarket a few miles away. Our reporter Kathy Killick has more details from the scene.
It was here at this house on Norfolk Street in Batley that police found the body of a young woman late on Saturday night. No formal identification has yet taken place, but she's thought to be in her 20s. Police came to the house after being called to the Asda in Dewsbury after reports of an ongoing armed robbery. The supermarket was cordoned off and roads were closed for a while, and police arrested a 37-year-old man and recovered a knife. After his arrest, the man told the police that a woman who he thought was dead was in a house on Norfolk Street. It was then that officers came here to Batley and made the discovery of a woman's body. The man they'd detained at the Asda was then arrested on suspicion of murder. It's news that has shocked neighbours in this quiet street.
It's very tragic, to be honest. It all happened all of a sudden, and we didn't realise that there was a girl inside. So to be honest, it was really shocking, and everybody is shocked in the street as well.
The police's initial inquiries led them to believe two other people, a man and a woman, could have come to harm, and searches and inquiries continued throughout Sunday. But the police now say they think that information was incorrect. Their inquiries are continuing, and they're appealing for witnesses and any doorbell or CCTV footage that could help them in their investigation. They also want to reassure people living around here, saying they don't believe there's any wider risk to the public in relation to this investigation. In the meantime, some flowers have been left at the scene by members of the woman's family, with neighbours also saying how sorry they are at the loss of such a young life. Kathy Killick, BBC Look North, Batley.
Next night, a group of endangered crayfish have been saved from a beck in West Yorkshire after a recent dry weather caused water levels to run low. 32 white-clawed crayfish were found in Burley and Wharfdale, and they're now being stored safely in Leeds. They were first spotted by a local resident who's been praising the rescue team. Abby Jayola reports.
What is quite extraordinary is the number of crayfish that I'm seeing at the moment. So if you look down here, there's a little crayfish.
This is what prompted the recent rescue. These videos were filmed by Scott, who lives near a beck in Burley and Wharfdale. White-clawed crayfish are native to the UK, but their numbers are dwindling, making each one of these even more important.
I just noticed all these crayfish, which I had never seen before. There were dozens of them, and they were everywhere. I made a video of them with my phone and shared them with the Environmental Agency, and they were very excited about the find.
You've effectively saved them, Scott. How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, I love the fact that we've got this little oasis of indigenous crayfish here, and the fact that they were saved and hopefully can be used to potentially introduce them into other areas where they would have been found before but have now been wiped out. I mean, that's really great.
You can see how dry the river is at the moment.
The crayfish were rescued by hand as water levels dropped significantly. It was a painstaking job, a fingertip search. The crayfish often hide under rocks or bury into the banks. The recent weather has been causing problems for lots of river-dwelling wildlife.
Rivers that usually flow with water have become a disconnected series of pools. And where those pools have become isolated, then wildlife can't move as freely within the water as they are used to. So we've had 2 or 3 heat waves, and that's meant that the water temperature is a lot warmer than it usually is. And warm water doesn't dissolve oxygen as well as cooler water. So we've seen a number of examples where fish have got into trouble because there's a lack of oxygen in the water.
32 crayfish, including 21 pregnant females, were taken to safety just up the road to Yorkgate Gardens in Adel.
A few decades ago, there were white-clawed crayfish everywhere in Yorkshire, and now we're down to just a few small populations. So these small populations become really important to sustaining the population across Yorkshire. So the next step is we can either keep them here in quarantine for around 4 weeks, which would potentially allow us to move them somewhere else, or ideally we probably try and put them back to where they come from once we're confident that the water levels will stay stable, because although we've had some recent rains, overall water levels are still quite low.
Thanks to a helping hand, the crayfish are now thriving. The Environment Agency is asking anyone who's worried about local river wildlife to get in touch. Abby Jaola, BBC Look North, Leeds.
Let's bring you some other stories from across the region now. A man has pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of murder after a house fire in Bradford. 29-year-old Bryony Gowith and her children Dennis T, Oscar and Aubrey all died in the fire at their home in Westbury Road last August. Today, Shiraz Ali, who's 40 and from Bradford, appeared via video link to Bradford Crown Court and denied 4 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder and 1 count of wounding with intent. Mr Ali is charged alongside 2 other men. A trial date has been set for November. Keighley Bus Museum has been damaged after a fire at a mill nearby. The fire broke out at Dalton Mills on Saturday, the latest in a series of fires there. Embers caused damage to the roof of the bus museum and a major clean-up operation is now underway. Our radio colleagues Toby Foster and Chelsea Ward kicked off an epic Race Across the World inspired challenge today. This Friday is Yorkshire Day, which is why Toby and Chelsea are wearing Yorkshire puddings on their head. They are racing around the county on public transport, broadcasting from mystery locations and completing special challenges. They kicked off a race towards Yorkshire Day in Bradford this afternoon. Tune into local radio across Yorkshire from 2 to 6 to hear how they are getting on this week. Do look daft with those hats on, don't they? Meanwhile, some very sad news now from our former colleague Jerry Kersey, who has sadly passed away. Jerry was a well-known presenter on BBC Radio Sheffield. In fact, he was one of the earliest voices on air. He also worked for Radio Hallam, clocking up more than 50 years in broadcasting. He was a listener's favourite, appearing at outside broadcasts, dressing up as Santa and hosting a nostalgia-based show up until 2020. He was 86 and our thoughts are with his family. You are watching Monday's Look North, still to come on tonight's programme. We're deep into festival season, so we're taking a look at an independent event that's grown and grown.
Well, we can talk now to some of Gillum Spurs Junior Football Club. Johnny Moxon, you're the chair. What was the atmosphere like in that clubhouse last night?
Oh, it was electric. Yeah, it was brilliant. It was very nerve-wracking throughout the game, obviously, but the girls pulled it back. It was brilliant, and then the result in the end was fantastic.
Now, after Euros 2022, lots more girls and women came forward wanting to join clubs. Did you find that here at Gildeston?
Yeah, we did. We only had two girls teams back then in 2022, and we've got 7 now, ranging from under 7s to under 18. So we've definitely seen an uplift, and maybe that'll happen again, maybe this time as well.
You're expecting some more members turning out?
That would be great. Yeah, we're always looking for more girls to join. It's a growing sport, and we're certainly seeing that in our club.
Well, let's talk to some of those girls now. Gracie, how long have you been playing for this club?
Quite a while now, and I think all of that is because of the Lionesses inspiring me from the Euros, definitely, after the 2022 Euros.
Who's your favourite player in this tournament?
Definitely Ella Toon for her confidence on the ball and her bravery to take up challenges.
What about you, Shreya? Who's your favourite player?
Chloe Kelly, because of her goal taking, her penalty taking,
She had a pivotal role last night, didn't she?
Yeah.
Has it given you a bit of extra oomph for your training tonight?
Yeah, she's definitely inspired me to do better in training.
What about you? What was it like watching the game last night?
I feel like it was electrifying from the start to the finish, so nerve-wracking after everything that happened. I feel like because what we've done in this tournament, I feel like we've really increased for girls especially to inspire to play football. And I feel like that's really made me amazing to see that. It's really good.
And let's go to some of the younger members now. I'm going to just come down the line a little bit here. Look at all these girls in here. How was it for you? What was the favourite moment for you last night?
It was really nerve-wracking and you couldn't tell who was going to win until the penalties.
And you were watching as well. Tell me, how was your reaction last night?
Loudly, and when it went to penalties, it was nervous, and then we just got to come back.
Show me, go on, demonstrate how you reacted last night.
I acted come on England, get in the goals.
Yay! I think we're all like that, weren't we? These big sporting moments bring us all together, don't they? In the stadiums where there was a record-breaking crowd, and here on the field where the Lionesses have inspired these female footballers of the future.
Thanks, Sal. Yeah, we were all saying, come on, England, get them in the goal, especially when she had to retake that first penalty. We thought it was all over. It was nail-biting stuff. Thanks, Sal. Oh, well, if that wasn't enough, it wasn't just the Euros that have been a hit with the crowds this weekend. We saw thousands of people head to tramlines in Sheffield and BD Festival in Bradford. But have you ever thought about holding your own DIY festival? Well, 15 years ago, Kate Webster and her partner Oliver Jones did just that. Deershed in North Yorkshire is now a 3-day event. According to the Association of Independent Festivals, the UK has lost over 300 small-scale festivals since 2020. So in a time when these events are becoming more of a rarity, Deershed has celebrated a decade and a half with a sellout crowd. It's the morning after 3 days and nights of partying at Baldersby Park Estate near Thirsk.
So we are managing traffic flows.
Festival founder Oliver is on traffic duty. No job is too trivial or dirty, even for the boss.
When the festival is running, I'm running around on a telehandler, unloading, putting fences up, putting bins in, a lot of infrastructure.
Oliver and his partner Kate started Deershed 15 years ago, turning family land into a 3-day experience of creativity for all ages.
We're big music fans, and we would go to festivals that were either very, very impressive lineups but nothing for the kids to do, or they were extremely family friendly but there's a lot of bands who hadn't done anything relevant for a while.
What started as a love of sharing music has grown into something for everyone, created by one family for others to enjoy, and they keep coming back.
This is my 5th time, I think, over the years. It's not too big, it's very friendly, and it's just a really good vibe.
Had a fantastic time with the kids. First time they've been to a music festival, and they've had a wonderful time. Great bands, great atmosphere, the vibe is perfect.
It was really fun, good bands and great weather and good food.
It's really fun and there's lots of activities to do all the time.
Do you feel a sense of freedom being here?
Yeah.
10,000 visited Baldersby Park over the weekend. This is a large-scale event organised by a team of just 4.
Financially, it's a challenge. The cost of living is perhaps, much higher than it used to be pre-COVID. And the COVID has made, I think, that people have changed their habits. So we need to encourage people to get out, come to events like Deersheds and independent festivals and grassroots venues.
Oliver, do you actually get to enjoy your own festival?
No.
Thankfully, many others do. So when the clean-up ends, planning starts on Deershed 2026. I took the kids and they loved it. And we also did tramlines on Friday, so I am festivaled out. It's been a fun weekend. Now, when Hannah Corn from Leeds was told she had a year to live after a cancer diagnosis, she decided she would not let that stop her achieving greatness. 14 months on, she's taken part in the Ironman, a gruelling physical challenge and one of the toughest tests of endurance that an athlete can undergo. You may remember that we first met Hannah last week, and here's a reminder of what she's been doing.
I'm excited that I will have made it to the start line. I'm excited to feel the buzz of Roundhay Park, to feel the buzz of the whole of Leeds. If I have a goal to get to, I'm going to get to it. It was also to kind of prove that even when you've got a devastating diagnosis, that life does still go on. Life doesn't end just because you've had this diagnosis, and you can live well. It means that I'm still alive. It means that I'm still fighting it. It means that the kids can kind of see that it's not over yet.
It's certainly not. Hannah came in earlier to talk about her incredible achievement.
So the Ironman triathlon is like the ultimate triathlon. It's a 2.4 mile swim, it's a 112 mile bike, followed by a 26.2 marathon.
Gosh, you didn't manage to complete that. No. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling tired, for one. I'm feeling really proud that I got to the start line, tinged with a bit of disappointment, because in my head I really wanted to try and complete it and ring that first timer bell and cross the finish line.
I think anyone would have struggled to finish that, let alone someone who's in your position, because you were only diagnosed 14 months ago, weren't you, with terminal cancer?
Yeah.
How important was it for you to have this challenge to work towards?
It was massively important, not just for me, but for my family as well. I thrive on having a challenge to get to, and it was a thing that I could focus on that wasn't about the cancer. You know, I had all the treatment stuff going on in the background, but it was just something exclusively for me to focus on, really.
And how were your family at the weekend? Because I know they were so proud of you.
Yeah, really proud. The kids got up for the start line, which is unbelievable because it was super, super early. And they'd made signs. And what was really nice as well is that I had friends from all walks of life at the start line, and they were all meeting each other. So I had university friends and work friends and school friends, and just everybody was just mingling together and shouting for me.
Last week we first met you and told your story, and it moved so many people. We had a real response to that. For you, how important is it to show that you can live beyond a terminal diagnosis?
It's really important. I think, you know, I'm in a fortunate position that my terminal diagnosis, my incurable cancer, was caught relatively early. So I've had chance to live a really well and healthy life. You know, some people don't have that opportunity because they're diagnosed really, really late. But it is important to show that even though you've had the worst possible news, you can still go on, you can still live well, you can still set yourself goals and get to those goals.
So with that in mind, what's the next goal? Because you strike me as a woman who doesn't let the grass grow.
No. And I had a friend, a very good friend, who completed the challenge yesterday, and I did text her this morning and I said, is it too soon to say I've had an idea? And she said, yes, it is. So I've got some ideas brewing, but we'll just have to wait and see.
You're a real inspiration, Hannah. Thanks so much for coming in, and well done for getting to that start line.
Thank you very much.
Now, he's known for his quick whips on panel shows like 8 out of 10 Cats. Comedian John Richardson is holding a special gig in South Yorkshire tonight to raise money for the charity Bright Young Dreams in aid of the Sheffield Children's Hospital. Last year, the event raised £100,000. Our reporter Phil Bobner has been to meet him to find out why he wanted to get involved.
Well, I live in Sheffield, so first and foremost, it's wanting to do something locally, and I have a daughter. Anyone who's in Sheffield or Yorkshire will have used the Sheffield Children's Hospital, whether it's for something hopefully minor where you're in and out in a day, but once you've been there and you see the staff, you see how hard they work, you see what an incredible place it is, and once you've been a parent you realise that your child's well-being is everything to your well-being.
You have a pretty stellar lineup of comedians who are here to support you. What does it mean to have that?
Well, for them to come to Sheffield is really special, because obviously it's a charity that's very special to me, Bright Young Dreams and the Sheffield Children's, but most charity gigs happen in London and that's where most comics are, so to get them to come up to Yorkshire is massive. It means a lot.
You've raised an enormous amount of money. What's behind that success, do you think? Because people clearly, it really resonates with them.
Well, the success of the gigs is the success of the venue and the people of Sheffield. You know, they have to come out. You know, I might be the person on the posters, but every penny that we raised tonight has come out of the pockets of the people that have come. So kudos to them.
Stepping out onto this stage, which has been home to so many great acts over the years, anybody from the Beatles to Bruce Forsyth to Shirley Bassey, what does that mean? Well,
I consider myself very Shirley Bassey-esque, so I'll be opening in a similar manner. It's really special, and it connects the charity to the city. So everyone who's here tonight will see in the room the people who are going to spend that money and work at the hospital, and it means I have to do less because there's such goodwill in the room for the hospital. I say hello and they already laugh and feel good.
How much preparation goes into a night like this, or do you just turn up and do it?
Well, I'm hosting, so I will just turn up and say hello and hope that there's somebody weird at the front to talk to. But in terms of the organisation, I mean, months and months of begging favours. I mean, it's called John Richardson and Friends, and I don't actually have any friends. So there's a lot of groundwork goes into making people like me before they turn up.
And for people coming along briefly, what can they expect tonight?
They're going to see some of the best and most unique comics. I mean, Harriet Dyer we've got on tonight is an incredibly unique brain, and Raymond and Mr. Timpkins Review, who I've put at the end, are probably one of my favourite live acts in the country. They're like nothing else. So when I introduce them, I'll be running around to watch from the front the same as everyone else.
Well, we wish you well. Good luck
Thank
for
you.
tonight, and have a great time.
Thank you very much.
He's a funny fella. That'll be a good event, won't it? You know, the weather can make or break a festival, can't it? And
Yep.
thankfully, it stayed lovely and dry this weekend.
It was fantastic for the tram lines, wasn't it? A bit mixed this week, Amy. There's something for everybody. A little bit of rain, a little bit of sunshine as well. But this view won't be beaten, I don't think, on any of the days. That was atop of Sutton Bank this afternoon. Absolutely glorious stuff. Thanks for sending that in, Philippa. And this is definitely a field that's going to be harvested in the next few days. It looks like barley to me, but I'm no expert, but it looks ripe for that harvest. Keep the pictures coming in. And tomorrow's weather is a little bit mixed. Patchy rain in the west, mostly dry in the east. We can draw a line down the A1, something like that. It's this feature sliding down that western side of our region. So if you do live to the east of the A1, it should be dry, but further west, certainly for the Pennines, there's some patchy rain on the way. And this feature could encourage showery outbreaks of rain during the second half of Thursday. In between, it's not looking too bad. Now, that's the satellite sequence. You can see the cloud is now breaking up quite nicely at the moment. So we should all see a little bit of sunshine this evening, and then overnight fairly quiet conditions, dry with clear periods, although that weather front threatening a little bit of patchy rain to the top of the Pennines. By the end of the night we'll see lowest temperatures around 10 degrees. Tomorrow's high water times then in Filey 7:59, and again at a 25 to 9 tomorrow evening. So a lovely start central and eastern areas, some sunshine. There's that weather front, thickening cloud, patchy rain for these western areas. Further to the east there might be the odd shower later, but basically it stays mostly dry, although it does cloud over from the west. We'll see temperatures around 20 degrees. Tomorrow evening looks like a brightening process, that patchy rain slipping away southwards. Wednesday, not too bad, mostly dry, some sunshine, just one or two showers. There's that heightened risk of showers returning on Thursday. Sunshine and showers on Friday. At the moment, a long way off. Saturday looks fine. Sunday, rain on the way. That's the forecast.
What if you live right in the middle of the A1?
Well, there you are. You'll have to go and find out. Sit on the hard shoulder and tell them if it's raining.
Arm left and right. That's it from us. Good night.